Hey guys, what is up? Doc Storm here with you again today. So today I want to talk to you about Elite Barbarians. I believe they are quite OP and I'm here to explain why. So pretty much I'm going to talk to you about the differences between Elite Barbs and the normal Barbs. So what makes Elite Barbarians so strong in my opinion is actually because it comes in 2s instead of 4s. But here, let me explain stats first. So if you look at the comparison chart here, the Elite Barbarians does look weaker stat-wise compared to the Barbarians, but one saving grace about the Elite Barbarians is actually its speed. The speed makes up for it, and this is why. Barbs have a major weakness because of its speed. It is so slow that after it defends against troops, it pretty much offers no offensive value because they're very easily distracted and countered that way, so they don't offer pressure in your counterattack. Versus Elite Barbs offer quite pressure because of the speed they rush in. It allows you to push both lanes at the same time if you need. The other thing that makes Elite Barbs better is actually because it's in a count of 2 instead of 4. So they are less susceptible to damaging spells like fireballs because fireballs devastate Barbs. But again, fireballs can still work against the Elite Barbarians. I'll show you in the gameplay later, but not as much. Now both of them unfortunately have the same weakness though. It would be the slow attack speed. Because of the slow attack speed, you can easily distract again and also kite the Barbarians and the Elite Barbarian. So that's the same downfall. You can easily swarm them with weak troops or swarming troops like skeletons, skeleton army, tombstones. Same deal against Barbarians and Elite Barbarians. But I'll show you more and more ways to counter them and also a gameplay with it. Now Barbs, what are they good for then? Well, Barbs are good in terms of splitting. So for example, they can split into 4 if you deploy them properly to counter Sparky. So Sparky only blasts 1 or 2 of the Barbs instead of all 4. Also Barbs, because they come in 4, they're great for body blocking. So when they send in a Hog Rider, if you deploy the Barbs in the front, pretty much the Hog Rider, you'll kill it and you'll own its face without it ever even touching it. Also Barbs are good at shielding, right, against Inferno Towers. They guard your Hog Rider, for example, against Inferno Towers. But Elite Barbarians, because of their speed, if you hold a zap spell, you can also overswarm the Inferno Tower and take it as well. So these are pretty much a general summary of the two. Now let's take a look at some of the ways we can counter and use the Elite Barbarians. So here I'll show you some of the counters first, and then later on I'll show you some gameplay with additional ways to counter. So here we use weak troops, skeleton army, goblins, things like that also work because the Barbarians still have slow attack speed. And then so here that's why Barbarians work, because again they all have slow attack speed, so it's better to swarm these Elite Barbarians. The other way is spells, mostly with Fireball. If you can anticipate them defending your troop, you can damage the tower and other units too for elixir gain. Other things like Fire Spirits and stuff work. Now this way is probably the safest way, is maybe a Bowler, because Bowler pushes them back. He is the melee MVP defenseman. So again now guys, I'm going to show you my favorite ways to counter Elite Barbarians. So here we go. So beginning with my deck here, I love playing the Musketeer because the Musketeer has slow attack speed. It forces your opponent to do something. If they don't, they're going to be losing elixir as we go. So the best way here, we both did the same thing. We played the Ice Golem to try to counter each other's Musketeer. So we did that because now I have full elixir almost. I had to play the Ice Spirit to counter the Musketeer, and look, my Musketeer is countering the Mega Minion as well. Again, nothing else better to play. I play the Minion at the back, and then I play my Hog to go for an offensive push. Now he used the Elite Barbarians, which is usually the best choice because Elite Barbarians are great for counter push once you defend them. But with my free spell, which is one of these spells that you can counter Elite Barbarians, is great at that because not only did I counter the Elite Barbarians, I also allow my Hog and my Minion to do damage to the tower and the Elite Barbarians. So that's one way you can counter Elite Barbarians, guys, is the free spell. And then here again, we're just kind of testing the waters, seeing what each other opponent has. So here I'm just getting ready again to try to defend my tower. I place the Hog instead of the Ice Spirit because Ice Spirit is great at countering Elite Barbarians, as you will see here. So I place my Elite Barbarians first just to do some damage and so they don't damage my tower. And then Ice Spirit down. Ice Spirit is great at freezing them. And then Ice Golem is also good because Elite Barbarians can push slow defensive troops like your Ice Golem Knights and things like that to go up closer to the tower to damage them. But the Ice Golem placement was a little off, but it's okay because at this point it's so early in the game. We're still testing waters against each other's deck. We're trying to force each other to make a huge mistake and take advantage. So here, anytime someone plays a golem, I always try to rush the other lane because I know they're down in elixir. And this is exactly what I did to take advantage of the situation. Even if they swarm my lane there, I know that I would be able to do so much damage on the opposite lane. So this is where it gets really dicey here. I use my Ice Golem to counter the Elite Barbarians because one, I want them to force them to the lane where I have my Elite Barbarians, and also the Ice Golem can take some pressure off by slowing them as well once he bursts. And look at here with my freeze spell again, very effective at countering them with that huge mega push that they did there. They were not doing too much damage on me. So Ice Golems are great, especially if you have any other units that can defend. So here, no problem, I placed the Elite Barbs, hoping both of them would be attracted to it, but only one did. But with no time left, I knew I had this one in the bags. So here is how you can play the Elite Barbarian. So just a recap, same old story, Barbs versus Elite Barbs, they're very similar but different. They both have slow attack speed, so you take advantage of it by having some mini melee troops to distract them while you're damaging it down with your tower or some other unit. So that will work. Also obviously freezing, because they're in a bunch. If you freeze them, you slow them down on top of their slow attack speed. It's going to take them a lot of time to get ramped up to do some massive damage. Also, they're land targets, so you can always use air units to counter them. Now again, the only difference between Elite Barbs, and its big differences is that the Barb comes in 4, Elite Barbs comes in 2. That means they're less vulnerable to spells, the Elite Barbarians. So use that to your advantage. The other thing is because the Elite Barbarians are so darn fast that after a counter, like a defense, you can go for a counter push. So that's one of the main things that the Barbs lack because they're so slow that they offer absolutely next to no offensive value versus the Elite Barbs offer huge offensive value, defensive value, and they can also catch up onto units because they're fast. So there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Clash on!